the layer properties. I need to click on it. Here I have the button that helps me to create a new layer. Click on it. And I'm going to create a layer called roads, because my drawing is going to have roads. I need another layer, so new layer. I'm going to call it buildings, because my drawing is going to have buildings. Let's create one more. I'm going to call it, let's call it forest, because I'm going to draw some forest areas. So I want also to change the color of my layers. So I need to go here, double click. You see, the color palette opens. Let's choose for my roads the color black. Let's choose now for my buildings the color something like magenta, purple. And then for my forest, I'm going to choose the color green. Of course, you can choose your own colors. You can choose the colors that your clients need and the symbols that your clients need. It's not enough just to create the layers. I have also to activate them. So I go here to roads and I double click till I see this green check next to my layer roads. This means that all the editing I'm going to do right now, it's going to be stored in the layer called roads. So let me close the layer properties window. I'm going also to switch workspace. You see on the bottom right part of AutoCAD Civil, you have this gear. This is useful in order to switch between workspaces. I'm going to go to this workspace called Drafting and Annotation. Here I have all my drawing tools. So I am already in my layer roads. You can confirm it here. You see the layer, it's roads. And I'm going to choose this Polyline. So I have chosen the tool Polyline and I'm ready to draw my road. All you need to do is with your left button of your mouse, start digitizing your road. I don't really do it accurately right now. I do it just fast so that you can take the idea. Right click, enter to finish your road. Let's do the same for the other part of the road. Once again, here you have to click the command Polyline and start drawing. Right click in order to finish with your road drawing, and you can see I have the first part of my road. It's digitized. Let's go now and draw some forest area. First thing, you have to switch layer. You are here in the Layers tab. Click on it. And let's find the layer called Forest. You click on it and you see, now you are working in the layer Forest. All changes that you will do will be stored in the layer Forest. Let's click again the Polyline. You see, I'm drawing around my forest area. Let's go to close the polygon. Okay, so now I have this forest area. I can put some symbols into it. For example, I'm going to choose this tool called hats. Here it is. I'm going to click into my polygon and you see what's happening. My polygon gets a color. It's not very nice looking, I would say, so I'm going to change it a bit. You click on it and you go here. You have different kind of patterns. AutoCAD has a very big list of patterns. Let's find something that reminds us of forest, at least to be a bit similar. I found this grass pattern. I think it's already better. So you see, you have your area that represents the forest with a nice pattern. Let's go now in order to draw a building. I'm going to switch layer and go to buildings. Normally AutoCAD saves the layers in alphabetical order, so here it is in B, my buildings layer. And let's go here to draw the polyline. I have this building, for example. Let's say that I don't want to draw the borders of my roofs, but I want to draw the borders of my wall. It's very hard to say where my wall is in this drawing because it's covered by my roof. Let's say that I suppose that my line is here. Oops. Let me show you firstly something different. You can choose your, let's choose your orthomosaic. Here I have chosen my orthomosaic. Right click, display order, send to back. In this, when we do that, we send our orthomosaic on the back and we bring on the front our drawings. So now you can see the line that before wasn't visible because it was on the back. So I was trying here to imagine, to guess where my walls is of this building. But you don't need to imagine. Pix4D Mapper gives you a very accurate tool in order to really know where your wall is. Let's see it. I'm going to open the same project into into Pix4D Mapper. You see, I am in red cloud. This is the building I was drawing before. So let's see now the wall of my building. Here I have the tool to create a polyline. You see, create a new polyline object. I click on it and I can draw more or less where my wall is. Once I do that, I'm not pretty sure I'm accurate. So what I can do is to really use my input images in order to correct my my guess, my polyline. I need to find my polyline on at least my wall. I'm sorry. I need to find my wall on at least 2 images. Something very easy because you see here I can see my wall in these 2 images, even in more images. So you can correct your polyline on the images. Let's see, maybe I have more images. Yes, here I can see better my wall. Once you do that, you have to click on apply. Now you have corrected already your polyline. You can go here on the left side, polyline, right click, export. We're going to export it in shape file and we are going to call it line test, let's say. Let's go back in AutoCAD. And now we can import our polyline, the polyline that we just exported from Pix4D Mapper. I'm going to call again the command map import. Here is the line I previously saved, line test. Okay, okay. And now I can see where my line is. You see, there is a difference between what I have guessed and where reality is. So here is where my wall limits are, where it is my wall. You don't need to do this object by object. Pix4D Mapper gives you the possibility to draw all of your objects, all of your line drawings into a Pix4D Mapper, and then here, objects, right click, export all objects. So you can draw everything here and export everything together through these options that Pix4D Mapper gives you. Let's move, I'm sorry, how the final drawing will look like if you do it carefully and you pay attention. Now I just did a fast and easy drawing just to give you the idea of how you can use AutoCAD and Pix4D Mapper orthomosaic. So that's all with AutoCAD. Let me close AutoCAD Civil because it maybe creates us problem later if I have everything to open. So let's go now and see how we can import our outputs into ArcGIS. I'm going to call ArcGIS, ArcMap, and ArcScene. All of them are workspaces of ArcGIS. If you are not very familiar with ArcGIS, you have these 3 workspaces: ArcCatalog, ArcMap, and ArcScene. The philosophy is the following. You organize your data in ArcCatalog, you create your database, you load your dataset into ArcCatalog, and then you visualize them into ArcMap and ArcScene. So we're going to start with ArcCatalog in order to start organizing our data. first thing you have to do, this is our catalog, the first thing you have to do is connect to folder. Here, there is this button, connect to folder, and you need to connect to the folder where you want your outputs to be loaded. So let's say I want to work in desktop. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it test. Oops, apparently there is one called test already. So test 1. And I'm going to create a subfolder geodatabase. So I click on it. Now I can see the folder I just created to be connected here in our catalog. You see it? It's the folder I just created. Desktop test 1 geodatabase. All you have to do is right click on your folder, new file geodatabase. Let's give a name to our geodatabase. I'm going to call it agriculture because I'm going to load agriculture dataset. Now I have my geodatabase, and all I have to do, or no, I'm sorry. Let's start loading the raster dataset. The good news is that ArcGIS can load with exactly the same way all of our raster dataset. So the DSM GeoTIFF file, the orthomosaic GeoTIFF file, and the NDVI, the index map GeoTIFF file, can be imported with exactly the same way into ArcGIS. So right-click in your geodatabase, import raster dataset. And now we have to find the raster dataset that we want to import. We click this button, and you see, I am here. I have all these are raster dataset. Let's start with the DSM. I want to load my DSM. I click on it, add. You will see here my DSM will appear. Hopefully, yes, here it is. So all you have to do now is to click OK. I'm not going to do it because it takes some time. I will click cancel, but I'm going to show you once again how you can load a raster file into your geodatabase. Right click, import raster dataset. I'm going to find my new raster dataset, not again the DSM, but let's load this time the mosaic. Oops, sorry. Here I have to choose it, add. Here I have my mosaic, and I have to click OK. I'm not going to do it. I do cancel. I have already done it for you, so I'm going to show you now how you can visualize this raster dataset that you just imported into ArcMap. I have here ArcMap. I have here the catalog of ArcMap. Yes. I have to find here the file, the geodatabase I just created. Let me find it. It's my geodatabase. It's here. I call it Switzerland Agriculture, and I have loaded in this geodatabase a DSM. You can see it here, and Ndvi Map and a mosaic. All you have to do in order to visualize this output into your main map is take it from here and drag and drop it to the main map. So here is here is the DSM that Pix4D mapper generates into ArcGIS. Here you can see some statistics about our DSM. You can play with the symbology. Here we have the layer of our DSM. Right click on your layer, properties, symbology. You can change, for example, the colors to one that you prefer. And in general, play with how you want to visualize your DSM. Let's load now the mosaic. Here is my mosaic. Drag and drop it. Here I have the orthomosaic. Maybe the color is a bit strange for you, but do not worry, it's nothing strange with a dataset. We just didn't use an RGB camera. We have used some near-infrared camera in order to create the NDVI. So if, let's say, you want to get rid of this black background, here is the layer of your orthomosaic on the left. Right-click on it, properties, symbology, and you have to click on this button, display background values. Okay, and now the background has disappeared. And now let me import into our main map the NDVI map. You see, here I have my NDVI, drag and drop it. Here is the NDVI map that Pix4D mapper has generated. You can see on the left side under the layer of the NDVI some statistics, minimum and maximum value. These are typical values of an NDVI map that cannot have values less than -1 and maximum than +1. What you can do if you want, for example, to check the NDVI value for a specific pixel in your NDVI map, you can use this identify tool, click on a pixel, and you get some properties. Let's say here you can see the pixel value, the NDVI value for this pixel. So that's all. We have imported our raster dataset into ArcGIS. Let's go back now and import the 3D outputs into ArcGIS, the point cloud and the contour lines. Let me remove these objects because I'm going to use later this map. So in order to remove your objects, right-click on the layer, remove, right-click, remove, and right-click, remove. So we have to go to our catalog once again in order to load this time the point cloud. Let's find where our point cloud is. Let me find it. I have it here into a subfolder called point cloud. And all I have to do is to create a last database into this folder. As you can see, I have already created for you, but I'm going to do it once again so that you can see it. So this is the point cloud folder. Right-click, new, last dataset. Let's give a name to our last dataset. I'm going to call it test. You have to double-click on the last dataset that you just created. Here, in this way, in this window, you can load the LAS file that Pix4D Mapper generates. Here, you have to click the button Add Files. You see, this is the LAS file that Pix4D Mapper has generated. I'm choosing it, open. And here you can already see some first statistics about this point cloud. For example, you can see how many points do you have, which is the spacing, minimum and maximum altitude of your points. You have to click on OK. I'm not going to do it now because it takes some time to load to your database, your point clouds. I will click on Cancel. No. And I'm going to open ArcScene in order to show you the point cloud. You see, I am in ArcScene. Let's call the catalog here. I can see the catalog button. Let's find the point cloud last dataset that I just created. It takes some time. Okay, here it is. Cadastre point cloud. This is the last dataset. I'm drag and dropping it into my main window, and you can see the point cloud, it's starting loading. You can see that in this case, my point cloud has different color according to the altitude of my point. Later on, I'm going to play a bit with the symbols, the colors, let's say. Let's call here, you can right-click here and call different toolbars. I'm going to call the toolbar last dataset. And here I have very useful options about visualization. You can see I can make contour lines, slopes, different kind of options. I'm going to use RGB so that you can see true color of the point cloud. Pix4D Mapper generates point clouds with true color. So that's how you can import your LAS file into ArcGIS. Let's import now also the contour lines. Let me find the contour lines. I have them here. I'm going to choose the shape file and just drag and drop it into ArcGIS. You see it's loading. Okay. Let me deactivate my last dataset so you can see the contour lines. These are the contour lines that Pix4D Mapper generated for this project. So that's all. I can close now ArcScene. No, I don't want to save anything. Let's go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, now I can show you an application into ArcGIS. Let's see what we have here. We have an area that has been mapped into different times of period. On the left, you can see your area before the reconstruction of the building, and on the right, you can see the area after the reconstruction of the building. So what we did in this case, we took pictures over our area before the reconstruction and after the reconstruction. So we created two projects, and we took two output sets. So here you can see on the top part there are some mosaics that Pix4D Mapper generated, and on the bottom part you can see the DSMs, the raster DSMs that Pix4D Mapper generated. What we are going to do is to use this raster DSM that you can see on the bottom. These are the raster DSMs. We are going to use them in order to calculate the difference in volume that these two raster files have. Let's open ArcMap. I have already created my database. I call it construction. I did it as I showed to you before. I loaded my raster DSM as I showed to you before. So here I have my database called construction2, and let me open here the DSMs. This is the DSM before the construction of the building, and this is the DSM after the construction of the building. First thing I have to do is to define the area of comparison. I have to create here a polygon in order to say I want to calculate the difference in volume between this area. So first thing, you have to go to your database, right click, new feature class. I'm going to call it polygon. I'm going to choose here the type of my feature class to be a polygon. Check this box, then next, 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 and next, and finish. Now my feature class has been created. You can see here a layer called polygon. Oops, I did the typo here. Anyway, but it's empty. Right click on my layer, edit features, start editing. Oops. Yes. Start editing. You see here the editor toolbar appears. You have to go on editor, editing windows, create features. Let me see a bit, something is strange. Let me do it once again. Editing windows, create features, yes, I'm okay. Just a moment, I don't see, here it is, it was hidden. I have to click on my polygon, and I'm ready to start editing. So, I'm going to create here a polygon. Now I've created a polygon. Here I can go to my editor toolbar and click on the drop-down list, stop editing. Do you want to save your edits? Yes, I want. So now I have this polygon. What I need to do now is to cut these big DSMs that I have according to this polygon. To do so, you have to open Arc Toolbox. I know it's a bit slow. Hope it doesn't take too much time. If it takes too much time, I have a video where I can show you what you should do, but I prefer to do it live so you can get better the feeling. So you have to go here to Data Management Tools, Raster Processing, and choose this tool, Clip. A window opens and it asks which raster do you want to crop, which raster file do you want to cut, and according to which polygon do you want to cut it. So in this first tab, I'm going to import my DSM, and on the second part, I'm going to import my polygon. So practically, what I say now to ArcGIS is take this raster DSM and cut it according to this polygon. I'm going to choose here where I want my file to be stored. I'm going to store it into my database. I'm going to call it before, because it was the DSM before the construction of the building. Save, and OK. Now it's working, ArcGIS it's working, and it's going to create a new smaller DSM. Let's see. Practically it's working. It will take, I hope, less than a minute. Let's wait a bit more. Yeah, this is a problem. It takes some time and time with a laptop. I hope it doesn't take forever. Yes, here it is. Let's see it. So now you see you have this small data set, this small DSM that has been cut according to this polygon. You see, we have to do exactly the same for the other DSM. Let me open it. So clip, once again the command clip. Here we will load the other DSM and our polygon. I'm going to give a name to my new smaller DSM. I'm going to call it after this time because it's the DSM that was created after the construction of the building. Save. Okay. You see on the bottom part of ArcGIS, you can see that something is happening. Clip, clip, clip. It means that it's working. It's cutting your image, your raster DSM. Let's see. Well, it shouldn't take too much. Okay, yes, here we have it. You see now I have two smaller DSMs, one before and one after the construction that have been cut according to my polygon. So I'm going to remove now my polygon. I don't need it anymore. I'm going to remove the original DSMs, right click on the layer, remove. So I keep only these two files. You see them? Okay. So now all I have to do is to compare the difference in volume between these two small DSMs. I need again to use Arc Toolbox. I'm going here to 3D Analyst Tools. It's, let me see, it's Raster Surface, it's Cut Fill. A new window opens and it asks me, which is the raster before and after that you want to compare. So here I have before. I'm going to just drag and drop from your layers your before raster, and the same for your after raster. Let's give a name to our volume difference. I'm going to call it volume. Okay. Okay. This can really take some time. In the meanwhile, I'm going to explain you a basic thing. When you want to compare the volume between two different time of periods, the volume between two different projects, you have to be sure that the georeference of your project is quite accurate. So I would definitely recommend in these cases to use GCPs, ground control points. In order to compare two different projects, it's better to have in both of them accurate GCPs. In this way, you can really align the two projects one over the other and make calculations like volume difference calculations. So now it will create a new small raster file that is going to indicate to us where we lost volume, where we gain volume. Let's see it. You see on this bottom part, you can see that something is happening. Okay, it did it. Let me show it to you. So you see now we know which area we gain volume. In all these red areas we gain volume, while in all these blue areas we lost volume. So what you have to do now in order to really, because this is just a visualization, but I suppose you are interested in numbers. You want to know how much volume I lost, how much volume I gained. So right click on your layer volume that we just created, open up attribute table. In this table options drop down list, you click it and you choose select by attributes. Here a window is opening. We are going to find all the areas where the volume was positive. Okay. So volume bigger than 0, applying. So now you see on this part that you have with blue color indicating all the areas where your volume was positive. This means, if I'm not wrong, that positive volume in ArcGIS means volume that we lost. Let me check it. I have my notes here. Yes, positive volume means volume that we lost, that we have removed from our area. We removed material from our area. In order to know the sum of all these volumes, you have to go here to the column volume, right-click statistics. You see you have the sum here. All this is the volume, the total volume that we removed from our area. I'm going to close it and do the same for the negative volume. Here I'm going to change the symbol, so volume less than 0, apply. You see now that we have all the areas where the volume is negative. Once again, to know the sum of all these areas, on the volume column, right-click, statistics, sum, and you can see in cubic meters the difference in volume. So that's all with the application in ArcGIS. I hope you learned something with all these examples. Before I close, I would like to tell you where you can find all these outputs. Pix4D Mapper stores these outputs in a system like the following. Once you create your project, a folder is created with a project name. Into this project, you can see the 4 basic subfolders called initial, densification, DSM ortho, and index. So, if you are interested in the point clouds, you will find them here under the folder densification. Search into these subfolders for the LAS file. This is the one we use today in order to import it into CAD and ArcGIS. If you are interested in the mosaic, you will find it here under the subfolder mosaic, and the DSM under the subfolder DSM. You should search for the files GeoTIFF or TIFF. These are the files we use today in order to import them in AutoCAD and ArcGIS. And for the last thing is, if you are looking for the index maps, so if you have used the index calculator of Pix4D Mapper, another folder is created that is called index, and into this under this big folder you will find subfolders where you can search for the GeoTIFF index map. So that's all for me. I hope you really enjoyed and you learned something today. Do not forget to enter into our webpage and ask for a trial of our software, rent it or buy it. Be ready also for our new webinar that is going to be about our new big release. It's the release, the version 1.2. We're going to show you all the new features that the release has, and the date is not yet determined, but it will be in August, and we will let you know about the release in the webinar. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave a bit more open the webinar so that you can keep asking questions, and we will reply to you. Thank you very much.